By enrolling in graduate school, you are embarking on your own reframing of your professional life, personal. As you look toward the final project, which of the three suggestions on page 303 are you leaning towards? Expanding access to music education, reconfiguring the field and the spaces within, or taking a stand, advocacy? What dimensions of your professional development might you focus on and why? To be totally honest, I think at some points I will be doing all three. And focusing in on one, I kind of feel like that says I'm not going to do the other things. But let me talk about how I can do each. Expanding access to music education. Well, I think that's been forced upon us during this quarantine time. If you're not thinking about how to reshape what you do, making it accessible for all that are not able to come in, just you cannot even see, then you are not keeping up with the times. You are forced to reconfigure everything, and that being forced to do it is helpful in the sense that if we choose to again do it, we will have already had experience. So expanding access does include a virtual format, probably includes additional technology or working to make sure all students have access to technologies that can support their learning. And I do that as far as trying to acquire pianos or equipment for my classroom. Also trying to create curriculum or assignments and activities virtually. So that's already in place, and I'll continue that. Taking a stand or advocacy. Wow. I think that will come on my path, or I will do that maybe a little bit down the road. I'm starting to feel some leadership direction or how should I say it, stops along the way or some changes in the way. And I think that my voice in a discussion about curriculum with people or members of the community who are a part of other fields of study will need to hear from someone who knows how important music is and how they've all benefited from it, and how the instruction needs to be taken seriously, and as well as how valuable it will be to have it as a part of whatever we are building. So I think that's coming down the road. I already do it. I forgot. Yeah, you got to remember all the things you do as a teacher. It's a million of them, but such as I direct, I create, direct, manage, produce whatever the Black History program, the assembly in our school. I am the director of the musical. I also been director of choir, and I'm et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But these things are promoting continued and expanded presence of music and advocating for its instruction in the school. And lastly, what dimensions of your, I'm tired, y'all, I'm tired. What dimensions of your professional development might you focus on and why? Or taking a stand. Reconfiguring the space. I'm sorry, I skipped that one. Ooh, I'm crazy. Yeah, that's interesting. That is something that I constantly do already. Just one aspect of reconfiguring my space is how I can be best positioned in the classroom and see everything going on and be responsive to all my students, while also having a space where if it's a one-on-one conversation needs to occur, it can happen while I'm still in the room and it's not disruptive to the instruction from the other kids. Or if I have to step outside the door, it's all manageable. That's, I guess, a very physical way of looking at how to set up the room, but also in trying to increase the current technology in the room in number or in how recent it is, how up to date it is. That's something that I have to collaborate with the powers that be in my building to continue to advocate for. and express that it is important that we continue to update and stay current. And yeah, and reconfigure. Oh, yes, and continuing to work on presenting opportunities to take the students outside of the classroom and expose them to other avenues or methods of learning, especially performances, of course, or sending them to performances and observing them, giving them the skills onto how to be responsive to a live performance and being able to convey their experience. So the classroom becomes the classroom without four walls. So that's another way to do that. Okay, thank you. Chapter 14. That was the last one.